Well, I'm back. I mean, I'm here now, so you get all of me. So.
All right, it is 6 p.m. on this June 11th. I'll call this town council meeting to order. Welcome those who are in attendance and those who are tuned in online. First we'll go with a roll call. Ms. McKay, can we have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Amos,
Here.
Mr. Reed,
Here.
Mr. Dwyer,
Here.
Mr. Parrott,
Here.
Mr. Yolen,
Here.
Mr. Hunter,
Here.
Mr. Hardy.
Here.
Thank you, Mr. McKay. I went back and forth, hesitated a little bit on whether or not I would speak on this because I don't like to give certain things too much oxygen, but I am going to. I was nudged a little bit by a council member who I hold in high regard, and so I will say that I have a well-traveled record of speaking for myself on partisan ideology in local government. I've spoken about it every election year because, unfortunately, Virginia has an election year every year. And every year I ask for grace to be extended to each other and to remember that we're all in this endeavor, in this enterprise together. Lately, there's been a lot of whispers amongst the community members. I've had a handful come up to me concerned about different things they're hearing on the ground, about those who are endeavoring in a small pocket to inject hyper-partisan ideology into local government. Now, that's not here for me to pontificate upon, and I will not do so, but what I will do is continue to draw lines in the sand here in this chamber. My belief is that partisan ideology often erodes trust and functionality in local government. It creates dysfunction. It creates chaos. We see it across the Commonwealth. We see it across the country. When you inject ideology into local government, services suffer. Deferred infrastructure suffers. Communities suffer. It's not advantageous at our level. That said, I recently spoke to the VML Small Towns Conference. I welcomed the folks to the conference, and I did so with that same address, which was that we should all be warriors who stand for integrity for our locality and stand as bulwarks, firewalls to ideology injected into our local politics. I'm not here to celebrate or condemn people's viewpoints, but I'm here to say that everything is shown that dysfunction and chaos follows it being injected into local politics. And so what I've always said every year, every time, and it's rare that I get up on the microphone and speak at length, but I always say that I will draw the battle lines at calm and order in this chamber, because I believe it's in the best interest of the people. We are here to serve the public, not to serve an ideology. Now, there are events that are transpiring nationally, events that honestly I was unaware of until my wife made me aware of them today, because I don't travel in the hyper-partisan ideological chambers that people send to. But I would hope that we can continue to be a place that recognizes that we're all neighbors and that we're all in this enterprise together, and that, as I said at the beginning, we can continue to extend grace to one another. That has always been my mission, sitting here. And it's been mine and mine alone. I don't extend that to these council members. I don't speak for them on this front. This is my own mission. And if you disagree with the idea of staying calm and having order in public business, then I do ask, what is it that you stand for? Who do we want to be? Because in my mind, we're all Americans. And the road to prosperity is not paved by just 70 million people being psyched and 70 million people being disenchanted and 200 million people going, what's wrong with everybody? We get there by working together. And we need leaders who speak to all of America. So I thank you for the time to express that. I thank my council members for the time to express that. And we'll go into the invocation. You're welcome to join if so inclined per usual, and not so if so inclined. And then Mr. Vice Mayor Reed will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. First item on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda. If I don't hear any changes to the agenda, oh, wait, I'm sorry, I apologize. There is one addition. After the declaration of personal interest, we'll enter into an introduction of the new Public Works Director by Mr. Davis. If that is amenable to everybody, do I have a motion to adopt the agenda as presented?
Make a motion, we adopt the agenda as presented with the changes.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it. Next up is declaration of personal interest. Does anyone have a declaration of personal interest to make concerning anything on the agenda this evening? Not hearing any. Mr. Davis, you have an introduction for us.
I do. It's an exciting time that we welcome a new department head. I haven't had the opportunity to do that in quite some time. If you mind standing, and I will introduce Stephen Edwards to everybody, who is our new Public Works Director. He began with the town effective June 1st, 2025. Stephen comes to us with 25 years of experience in civil engineering and environmental fields with a strong work history in local government. He's proficient in site plan design, review, construction, and environmental inspection, project management, stormwater management, and land development. His recent job was the environmental administrator for Dinwiddie County. Stephen was responsible for budgeting, citizen interaction, capital improvement projects, enforcement, and policy development. He's also, in his profession, been with the city of Hopewell as a stormwater program manager. He was also a senior engineering technician early on in his career in Colonial Heights Public Works. And prior to that, he was in the design area of civil engineering with Timmons Group. In addition to his profession, he's also an adjunct professor for Bright Point Community College, teaching the fundamentals of stormwater erosion and sediment control. He has a Bachelor of Science in Environmental Management with a minor in Occupational Safety and Health with honors from Columbia Southern University. He's also a dual combined administrator for erosion and sediment control and stormwater management for the Commonwealth of Virginia, DEQ. Certified stormwater inspector through National Stormwater Center, and is a qualified compliance inspector of stormwater and qualified preparer for stormwater pollutant prevention through Stormwater One Center. He's hit the ground running in the last week and a half, getting to meet different people within our organization, and also going out and spending time with different areas within Public Works already. And so very excited for him to be with us and work with our good folks in Public Works. So please welcome Stephen Edwards.
Welcome, sir.
Appreciate it.
Certainly, as we all know, have big shoes to fill, but I'm sure you're up for the task, and we welcome you aboard. Next up is a proclamation recognizing National Cities, Towns, and Villages Month. Like we said, we had the Virginia Municipal League Small Towns Conference here this past week, which is a great opportunity to have small town elected officials from across the Commonwealth here, and we also had the Small Cities Council represented from National League of Cities. The proclamation reads, whereas the National League of Cities was founded in 1924 in Lawrence, Kansas as the American Municipal Association by state municipal leagues seeking more coordination and national representation as cities, towns, and villages expanded rapidly, whereas the nonpartisan National League of Cities is the oldest and largest organization representing municipal governments throughout the United States, representing the interests of more than 19,000 cities, towns, and villages across the country. Whereas today, the National League of Cities works in partnership with 49 state municipal leagues across the country to strengthen local leadership, drive innovation, and influence the federal policies that impact local programs and operations. Whereas as the voice of cities, towns, and villages in Washington, D.C., the National League of Cities has successfully championed federal legislative solutions that support municipalities and has worked closely with Congress and the executive branch to educate policymakers on the realities of local implementation. Whereas Farmville is a proud member of the National League of Cities and has benefited from the organization's research, technical expertise, federal advocacy, and opportunities to learn from other local governments. Whereas local governments are the bedrock of American democracy, providing 336 million residents with the most accountable, responsive, inclusive, ethical, and transparent government in the world. Whereas from the nation's smallest villages to its largest cities, America's local governments have been essential in transforming the United States of America into the greatest, most influential nation in world history. Whereas Farmville was first incorporated in 1833 and is proudly served today by the mayor and town council and a municipal workforce of 152 dedicated public servants. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Brian Vincent, the mayor of Farmville, Virginia, do hereby proclaim June 2025 as National Cities, Towns, and Villages Month in celebration of America's local governments and the National League of Cities' historic centennial anniversary. Thank you. Next up is public hearing. Do we have anyone signed up for public hearing, Ms. McKay?
There's not a public hearing scheduled.
It's true, we don't have a public hearing, so there would be nobody signed up for that. It's a good catch. Do we have anyone signed up for public comment period?
Jen Cox.
Should we start with Miss Karn? Is there one
Yeah, sure. I'm still getting used to it. I've only been married 5 years, so. Well, good evening, everyone. When I was here last month, there was a lot happening on campus as we were getting ready to celebrate all things commencement. It's a little bit different pace as we move into the summer, but we still get to invite a lot of different visitors and guests to our campus with conferences and events, including last week, and it was really exciting to host, and I loved seeing so many posts and information about all the regions of Virginia that had a chance to see our beautiful community. Just a few updates on behalf of the university. We do have a strong incoming class. I'm sure you've heard that, but I'll just reiterate, this is our largest class since before COVID. So that's definitely a testament given Some of the other challenges are kind of across the nation with demographics and other factors. We had a lot of people at our university working really, really hard to ensure we had a really strong incoming class this year. So we're really proud of that, and we're excited for what will be a really fun and exciting move-in time in August. So also wanted to make sure everyone was aware for your constituents that into the fall, we'll start construction on our new music building. So currently that facility is a little more deep in the heart of campus. It'll be on Main Street. It'll have a little bit more access for community, have 500 seats. So as you have questions about it, please let us know. But we're excited to add that along with JPB and kind of making sure that that kind of area along Main Street definitely is a little bit more welcoming and inviting, and that we have that great mix coming from community onto campus. And then before too long, we're going to be welcoming our freshmen for orientation. So I will be sending out tomorrow our monthly update to our businesses, area landlords, and anyone else who wants to be on the email. But the week of July 14th is when we'll do our orientation sessions. So we've broken them down by different majors. So you'll see that'll be a really busy week here on our campus. And more to come, but if you all have any questions, of course, please let us know. But we stay busy all summer, just a slightly different pace than August through May. So thank you all. Yes.
What are they doing at the sports complex on the fields?
On the baseball fields?
Yes.
So last I heard, I believe they're changing that all over to turf. So yeah, I can double check. I'll email you back tomorrow. I get an email update every week with all the different projects, so I'll check on that progress and I'll email you.
Since Chucky asked a question, I'm sorry, Dan. Where exactly is the music building going? I'm excited about that because I've always
Sure.
been a big fan.
Pretty much across from the McDonald's right there. So in the corner. Yeah. Yeah, our old facilities building, since our new one, thank you so much, is across the street, and we can utilize the golf carts to get back and forth. So now we can make it a little more. We still appreciate that. Just got to make sure everybody knows. But yes, so it'll be right there, nice and accessible. Yeah.
Any additional questions this time? Well, thank you again for hosting Small Towns Conference.
It was a lot of
Everybody
great
had a great
energy.
time.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Anyone else signed up for public comment, Ms. McKay?
No, sir.
All right, we'll close public comment and move into the consent agenda. You have the draft minutes of the 2025-05-07 work session and the 2025-05-14 regular council meeting before you. If there are no changes, do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So move.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor? Aye. Those opposed? Ayes have it. Next up is the finance report. Ms. Julie Moore.
Good evening. So we have a couple of things. You have the work session reports that we didn't present last week, so I'm going to start with that. And those are the April ones because of the time. They always lag like a month behind. So in those charts and reports, we have the budget to revenue, and right now our general fund appears to be behind compared to what we budgeted for the first 10 months. However, the main reason for this is there's some revenues that we've talked about in the past that are actually not revenues, but savings that we use to cover future cost. And when you look at revenue, compare it with previous years, there's two funds that are below prior year. That's the general fund and the airport, and we've talked about that. The general fund's below because last year we recognized the money for the ABM project, and we didn't have that this year. And then we also had some big projects at the airport that we didn't have this year. Budget to expense, overall total expenses are below the 10-month mark, but there's one fund that's above, and that's the water fund, and that's due to the payments for the ABM project. And then expenses versus prior year, we are slightly above last year, and we've discussed what those differences are in past months. So do you have any questions on those reports?
Any questions at this time for Ms. Moore?
Okay, so now we're going to talk about the report that I normally talk about, which is your May finance report. The ABM project, we earned $3,514 for May, and that will help us go towards future payments. For VIP, we earned $14,812. For Benchmark, $6,090. For LGIP, it was $38,231. So we earned a total of $59,133 in May for income, excluding the ABM income. Any questions?
Any questions for Ms. Moore on that? Not hearing any.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we have the April 2025 work session reports and the May 2025 finance reports before us. Not hearing any questions, do we have a motion to adopt the finance reports as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? Ayes have it. Next up on the agenda is old business regarding the request to adopt resolution number 2025-0501 FY 2025-2026 town budget. And that is the first item on the old business. Do we have a discussion on the town budget at this time? Or I would entertain a motion to adopt resolution number 2025-0501, if so moved.
I make a motion, we adopt resolution number 2025-0501 for the fiscal year 2025-26 town budget.
Second.
Motion and second. Any additional discussion at this time? All right, hearing none, Ms. McKay, can we have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Amos,
No.
Mr. Reed,
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer,
Yes.
Mr. Parrott,
Yes.
Mr. Yolen,
Yes.
Mr. Hunter,
Yes.
Mr. Hardy.
No.
On a vote of 5 to 2, the motion passes.
All right, next up for old business is request to adopt resolution number 2025-0502 FY 2026-2030, the capital improvement plan. Any discussion on the CIP plan, or is there a motion on the floor to adopt a resolution?
I move that we adopt resolution number 2025-05-02, the capital improvement plan. Second.
Motion and second. Any additional discussion at this time? Not hearing any. Mr. McKay, can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Reed,
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer,
Yes.
Mr. Parrott,
Yes.
Mr. Yolen,
Yes.
Mr. Hunter,
Yes.
Mr. Hardy,
Yes.
Mrs. Amos.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Thank you. Next up on the agenda is new business, a request to adopt resolution number 2025-0602 regarding the classification and compensation plan for FY 2025-2026. Mr. Davis, do you have any additional information concerning this item at this time?
No, the only addition is, which was in the budget, is the deputy town manager position.
Any discussion concerning the classification and compensation plan for FY 2025-2026 at this time? Not hearing any. Is there a motion to adopt resolution 2025-0602?
So move.
Second.
Motion and second. Any additional discussion at this time? Not hearing any. Ms. McKay, can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Dwyer,
Yes.
Mr. Parrott,
Yes.
Mr. Yolen,
Yes.
Mr. Hunter,
Yes.
Mr. Hardy,
Yes.
Mrs. Amos,
Yes.
Mr. Reed.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Thank you. That concludes the agenda for the most part outside of the manager's report. We will have a closed session after the town manager's report and comments by council and mayor. Mr. Davis, do you have a town manager's report?
Yeah, I do. So Julie and I met with Davenport and our bond counsel in regards to going to rating agencies and getting a general obligation bond. We have a tentative schedule for the process, and so I'll be sending that out to you tomorrow so that you can see that tentative schedule. It can fluctuate and change, but so far this will be the schedule that we go through And it has in there when you all will have to make different decisions and approvals. Hopefully for the July work session, going off of the general obligation bond, would like to share with you all a different method of procurement than the traditional method of putting out RFPs. And this is specific, related to dealing with building developments. The Commonwealth allows you to adopt a PPA, which allows private entities, contractors to partner with public entities for development of public facilities. It's not the traditional, as I said, RFP process. In this, you can use a construction manager at risk under PPEA, and that allows us, the biggest plus of that is it allows us to, when we go and we'll still get bids from companies, but they'll list who their subcontractors are and those types of things, and we can agree on a maximum guaranteed maximum price. So nothing would exceed that unless because they will have gone over the plans and know exactly what needs to be done beforehand. And if anything is changed, it would not be necessarily on the town on a change order. And so it also allows us not to go with the low bidder. You can actually go with a company that has experience in the facilities that we're trying to build and those types of things. Even if the price may be a slightly higher, you don't always have to go with the lowest bidder in this process. So I'll be bringing you that and some information. I have used that in the past. It worked really well. We currently don't have that adopted as an ordinance for us. And so just like to talk that over with you, hopefully, like I said, in July, and see if we can get that in line, if you so desire, before we actually get into the process for the fire station. The splash pad bathrooms should be awarded soon after June the 25th. That is when the closing is for all bids on the construction of it. The sewer plant renovations, we've issued the notice to proceed for the UV treatment and the cloth disc filtering, so that should be occurring pretty soon, starting pretty soon. Speaking of sewer, we have some sewer issues in multiple places. Public Works building, the bathroom for all the workers decided the line was old enough and decided to go bad. So we have been replacing the new sewer line for the bathrooms at Public Works building. And just yesterday, poor police department got dumped on, no pun intended. They had a leak in theirs from our sewer pipes here. So we're in the process of fixing that as well in this building. Paving is in process. Obviously, you've seen some of that work being done, milling and some of the pavement already laid. So that's going well. And then also, we are going to move forward, even though you haven't committed it, you adopted the budget, but we had put funds, as we talked about at the public hearing and meetings after, into contingency for if you decide to pull it out for a sidewalk project study. And so we're going to go ahead and get a quote on that study so that I can bring that back to you. That's all I have for right now.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. I'll go around the table. Mr. Hardy?
I got a couple, and they're all good, actually. I loved seeing, I saw a couple of guys from Public Works out there weed eating the sidewalks. I know it seems like a pain to weed eat the sidewalks on Main Street, but I know it's hard to get it sprayed because of certifications and stuff, which I know that's a pain, but it looks really good what they've gotten so far. The Small Towns Conference was pretty awesome, and thanks Longwood, appreciate it. Speaking of Longwood, season tickets are still available. I just got mine, and I'm extremely excited about basketball. Welcome aboard. to Public Works. I hope we can look forward to a continuation of the fantastic service of our Public Works Department. So that's me.
Mr. Hunter?
Yes, with the pavers, can you check to see if they have the hand signs, like to say stop instead of putting your hands up? Somebody almost got hit the other day, so I was a little worried about that. And the other thing on the bathrooms, sports arena, that one and the female, do we ever get the parts for that, to get that repaired?
We weren't waiting on parts, but they're gonna have to replace the whole toilet, but we are working on that.
Thank you.
Mr. Yolen?
Welcome to the Public Works Director. Thank you very much for accepting the job. I hope this town treats you well, and I hope you treat this town well.
Mr. Parrott?
I have a question, but I'm not expecting an answer tonight necessarily, but I'd like to put it on the radar. I'd like to know the status of our ABM as far as where we are and how close we are to being completed with that. Doesn't have to be tonight. It can be at the next meeting, but I would like to have an update on that.
The goal was to be completed by the next meeting, so I can tell you that much.
I was just curious as to where we were with that.
Next meeting will be a good time to,
Discuss it.
yeah, summarize the completion. Mr. Dwyer?
I would just say that if anybody is feeling kind of low and blue and you need something to cheer you up, just ride by the splash park and watch kids squealing and jumping up and down. It makes me feel good.
Mr. Reed?
I don't have anything, just welcome Mr. Edwards to the team.
Ms. Amos?
Welcome, Stephen. You have quite an impressive resume.
All right, I took up enough time at the beginning, so I'll keep it short. I will be on call flow again tomorrow morning, as I am every Thursday after a council meeting. If you're so inclined to tune in. I had my last DWR meetings this past May. After 8 years, I cycle off the board of the Department of Wildlife Resources and go down, as far as I know, as being the only member of the board who was appointed by a governor he campaigned against. So I hold that in some distinction to speak to my independent nature. I had a small cities council meeting just Tuesday, so yesterday, in which the celebration was on that tax-exempt municipal bonds had been saved in the rush of cuts at the national federal level. So that was exciting news for all the localities there, the 50 of us who were in that meeting. And with that, I will yield my time and move to Mr. Hardy to read us into closed session.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the Farmville Town Council convene in closed meeting pursuant to the Code of Virginia in accordance with the provisions of paragraph A1 of sections 2.2-3711 for the discussion of reappointments to the Farmville Planning Commission, reappointment to the Central Virginia Regional Library Board, and discussion of performance of the town manager and clerk of council.
Second.
Motion and second. Ms. McKay, can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Parrott?
Yes.
Mr. Yolen? Yes. Mr. Hunter?
Yes.
Mr. Hardy?
Yes.
Mrs. Amos?
Yes.
Mr. Reed? Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Thank you. We will reconvene after the closed session.
it's like, yep. But I mean, it's getting taken care of. They all close. And it's gonna be a realtor's buying it, so, sorry.
He can't wait till July gets here and he can move in his place.
All right. Mr. Hardy, will you read us out, please?
Whereas the Farmville Town Council has convened a closed meeting on this date pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and whereas Section 2.2-3712 of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by the Farmville Town Council that such closed meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law, now therefore be it resolved that the Farmville Town Council hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by Virginia law were discussed in the closed meeting to which this certification resolution applies, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered by the Farmville Town Council.
Second.
Motion and second. Ms. McKay, roll call, please.
Mr. Yolen? Yes. Mr. Hunter?
Yes.
Mr. Hardy?
Yes.
Mrs. Amos?
Yes.
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Parrott?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Kay. Before we go forward, this is a reminder that closed session materials are protected by the closed session stipulation. At this time, the floor would be open for any motions of reappointment to the Farmville Planning Commission.
Mayor, I move that we appoint Cameron Pattison, Ward C, Abigail O'Connor at large, Patrick Root, Ward D, to the Farmville Planning Commission with terms ending July 30th, 2029.
Second.
Motion and second. Any additional discussion at this time? Ms. McKay, we have a roll call, please.
Mr. Hunter?
Yes.
Mr. Hardy?
Yes.
Mrs. Amos?
Yes.
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Parrott?
Yes.
Mr. Yolen? The motion passes.
Thank you. The Planning Commission spot held by Mr. Jerry Davenport, who is stepping down from the Planning Commission, will remain open. We've got one applicant. We want to see if we can draw a few more in before we make a decision. Moving forward, is there a motion for reappointment to the Central Virginia Regional Library Board?
Make a motion that we appoint Robin Smith to a second four-year term on the Central Virginia Regional Library Board with a term ending June 30th, 2029.
Second.
Second.
Motion and second. Any additional discussion at this time? Not hearing any. Ms. McKay, can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Hardy?
Yes.
Mrs. Amos?
Yes.
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer?
Yes.
Mr. Parrott?
Yes.
Mr. Yolen? Mr. Hunter?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. And if there is no more business to come before this body, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor? Aye. Those opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.